support Hamas. I'm not a friend of Hamas. I don't agree.
You used to call them friends.
No, hang on.
We did.
Karen, let's get this clear.
We did say that you were friendly.
Piers, can you hang on a second? Let me just...
Is that not true?
Can I say something very clearly?
Yes.
Which I've said many times, and I said it on Andrew Marr 2 weeks ago. 10 years ago, I was in a private meeting in the House of Commons with a number of people who were representative of different Palestinian groups. It was an attempt to understand their views and to bring people together. For a short time, a person who was related to Hamas left the room. And I said, in a collegiate, a friendly and appropriate way, as you would at any meeting, where's our friend from Hamas gone?
Right.
That's all I said. And that...
So you called Hamas friends?
No. Oh, come on.
Oh, come on.
Piers.
You just admitted it.
How many times have you sat in a meeting and called somebody a friend?
I wouldn't say my friends from the IRA. I wouldn't say my friend from ISIS. I wouldn't say my friend from Al Qaeda.
Look,
you said my friend from Hamas. No, you might have changed, Jeremy. You might have changed your mind.
No, Piers,
which you're perfectly entitled to do.
Piers,
and my understanding is you do now regret what you said.
You are obsessed with tittle-tattle of politics. Of something that happens 10 years ago. Why don't you instead concentrate on this?
You think people supporting Hamas is tittle-tattle?
Let me finish. Give me a chance.
Really?
Yeah, give me a chance. Let me finish. How do you think people in Palestine feel under occupation? How do you think it's like, what it's like growing
how they feel.
Growing up with a soldier outside your house? How do you feel? How would you feel
if your land
was being taken and settlement put in? How would you feel if your children were being bombed in a hospital?
Can I answer?
Yeah, please.
OK. I had a Palestinian doctor on here a few days ago who'd lost over 30 members of his family. Yeah. Right, he grew up on the Jabili refugee camp. Yeah. His parents were displaced in 1948, and they ended up in the refugee camp, where he then lost 3 of his daughters were killed in an Israeli strike on a home he had finally got for himself. He then emigrated and has now been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. He was in tears at this desk in that seat. So I don't need to be told. I've said that the way that Israel is able, even today, to turn the tap on of water and energy and fuel into Gaza is wrong. Palestinians should have the same human rights as people in Israel.
Exactly.
Let me ask Jeremy a question.
Come on,
look, I want to come back to this thing about what do you do with Hamas? Do you keep them in power?
Israel is claiming it is...
not from him.
He agrees with the Israeli government.
No, you wouldn't answer. I said, would you keep Hamas in power? You wouldn't answer.
They wouldn't be in power.
Can you not speak for him? It's not a puppet show. It's not a puppet show, Len.
It's not a puppet show.
He's allowed to answer for himself.
Of course he is.
Well, let him answer.
The reality is...
Let him answer, Len. Don't talk for Jeremy Corbyn.
All you want to do is bully people.
Who am I bullying?
You're bullying constantly.
There's 2 of you.
OK.
One's run a party in the country. One's run a major union. Are you really feeling bullied, Len?
I'm not.
Do me a favour.
I'm not.
Do me a bloody favour. Do me a bloody favour.
I'm not.
Let me come back to Jeremy Corbyn, if I may, without you speaking for him.
Can I put it this way?
Would you get rid of Hamas?
Can I say something?
You can answer my question.
No, can I say something?
Would you get rid of Hamas?
Listen, can I say something?
Yes or no?
Thank you. Can I say something? Thank you. Israel claiming it is conducting legitimate self-defense. Where is legitimate self-defense pre-ordering the bombing of a hospital knowing there are children in it? Where is legitimate self-defense?
You've heard their argument about that.
School?
They believe that Hamas, and this has been corroborated, by the way, by everyone
10,000
from Bill Clinton.
Died.
Bill Clinton is on the record as saying that, this is years ago, he's on the record as saying that Hamas 5, 6, 7 years ago, in fact, you know what? Let's listen to him say it himself. Here.
Hamas is really smart. When they decide to rocket Israel, they insinuate themselves in the hospitals, in the schools, in the highly populous areas. I killed myself to give the Palestinians a state. I had a deal they turned down that would have given them all of Gaza, all of Gaza, between 96 and 97% of the West Bank, compensating land in Israel.
So 2 things then. We'll come to the second part in a moment. But he's crystal clear, Bill Clinton, in 2016. He was president of the United States for 2 terms, right? That Hamas were using hospitals, schools, mosques and others deliberately. And they don't care about Palestinian lives. They don't care about them. They knew when they did what they did on October the 7th, there was going to be a massive reaction by Israel. They knew thousands of innocent Palestinians would die. They don't care about their people. So my question for you, Jeremy, which you haven't answered, Jeremy,
there are
and I want you to answer.
Dead already.
I know.
How many more are there going to be before this is over? How many more wholly innocent Palestinian children are going to be killed because of Israeli military policy?
Answer my question.
A ceasefire means a ceasefire.
They are not
both sides.
Right. Would you have said ceasefire, as this is the Israeli argument back at you, would you have said ceasefire to the Allied forces in World War II against the Nazis when they went after cities like Dresden and killed tens of thousands of people in one night? Would you have said ceasefire, or would you have said you keep going until you finish and defeat the enemy? That's their argument, that they're at war with a group that wants to remove Israel completely and kill every Jew they can get their hands on. Now, I've asked you repeatedly,
without
I want you to answer the question.
To rehearse everything in the Second World War, I think military targets should be industrial and military targets.
Right, but a lot of German
homes and hospitals.
As you know, a lot of German civilians died in the process of taking on the Nazis. So my question again, and just answer this question. Would you keep Hamas in power?
It's not up to you.
What's your opinion?
No, hang on a minute.
You're expressing plenty of other opinions, aren't you?
Piers, can
you calm down a minute?
Can I ask you a question?
You know, I'm sorry.
Calm down a minute.
If you think Hamas should stay in power, say so.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, I wanted to answer the question.
Can I ask you?
No, he can answer it.
Can I ask you a question?
It's not a puppet show, Len.
Can I ask you? Well,
why won't you say Hamas should go?
You are a very strange form of interviewing.
Am I?
Where you interrupt, shout, and abuse your guest.
Well, you refuse to answer my question, and he keeps trying to answer it for you.
No, I'm going to ask you a question.
No, I'm not going to ask me a question, Len. It's not your show, it's mine. And I keep asking you the same question. Would you keep Hamas in power?
What I said was there has to be a ceasefire. A ceasefire has to be both sides. That ceasefire will then hopefully develop into a longer-term peace.
Well, you think Israel can do...
Hang on a minute.
You think Israel can do peace with Hamas?
Israel has been talking to Hamas for 20 years.
You think they can do peace with them after October the 7th?
They've been listen, October the 7th was abominable and appalling. That we're agreed.
And you think Israel can do peace with people that did that?
I managed to get two sentences in between...
Because you won't answer my question.
Look... If you want to have a discussion, fine.
Answer my question.
If you want to just shout at me, that's your prerogative, your TV, your show.
Should Hamas stay in power?
Listen, what I said was a ceasefire means a ceasefire. It means both sides have to cease fire.
Yeah.
It means you then...
Now, you said that. Should Hamas stay in power? It's actually
Are you done yet?
It's actually a critical question.
Are you done yet?
It's a critical question.
Are you done yet?
No, it's the question.
Are you done yet?
Should they stay in power?
Are you done yet?
This country says they're a terror group. Do you agree? And should they stay in power?
Listen, I do not approve, support, or welcome Hamas.
Are they a terror group?
Everybody knows what they are.
Are they a terror group?
Look, Piers,
can you say it?
Piers, can we have a discussion?
Can you say it?
Can we have a discussion?
Can you call them a terror group? Jeremy,
can we have a discussion?
Can you call them a terror group?
Is it possible to have a rational discussion?
Are you prepared to call Hamas a terror group?
Is it possible to have a rational discussion with you? Is it possible? Come on, answer that question.
You can't, can you?
You answer it.
No, it's my show. You answer my question.
Well,
are Hamas a terror group?
Listen, can I...
Are they a terror group?
Piers, can I speak?
Answer the question.
Can I speak?
Are they a terror group?
Piers,
no, then, no.
If you let me speak...
Are they a terror group?
If you'll let me speak, I'll say something.
Go on, then.
A ceasefire means both sides...
You said that. Are they a terror group?
Listen, I said that
because are they a terror group?
Part of the process.
Are they a terror group?
Can we go...
Why can't you say it?
Piers, can we go through what ought to be happening?
Just answer my question.
Why do you think
are Hamas a terror group
in the world are calling for a ceasefire?
Are Hamas a terror group?
Come on, answer that. Answer me.
No, it's not your show.
You've got so many opinions.
Why should I answer yours when you won't answer mine?
Why do you give out your opinions all day and every day?
Are Hamas?
You don't like it.
Are Hamas a terror group? Yes or no?
You won't like it when somebody pushes back on you. What I've said is,
I've asked you two questions: should Hamas stay in power, and are they a terror group? You're refusing to answer either of them. That is very telling. And you wonder,
it's not very telling
and you wonder why people think you had a problem with Jewish people.
At all.
Right?
What is very telling is your inability to keep quiet for 30 seconds to allow anybody to answer a question.
On my show, I ask people questions.
You shout at people.
Normally, they answer them.
You shout at people.
No, only when they won't answer the question.
No, you shout at people all the time.
You've deliberately not answered my question.
Piers, I've explained to you how to get rid of Hamas.
Are they a terror group, Len?
Of course, the
Thank
terror.
you. Why can't you say that?
Hang on.
You've answered it. Should they stay in power, Len?
But do you?
Should they stay in power?
No, they won't be in power.
Do you believe they should?
They won't be in.
Do you believe they should?
They won't be in.
Do you believe they should?
They won't. I don't believe.
Okay, so you've answered my questions.
I believe.
It's not that difficult to say Hamas should go and they're a terror group. Why can't you, Jeremy Corbyn, answer the questions?
Ask something about the behaviour of the Israeli army and the Israeli government. Why can't you say that? Why can't you have a discussion about how a ceasefire would come about? Why can't you have a discussion about a process for the future?
Because you know why, Jeremy?
Which brings about a peace for everybody in the region. And it does not mean that the people of Gaza all support Hamas.
When I repeatedly ask you, are Hamas a terror organisation and should they stay in power? And you are simply incapable of saying that they're a terror group and they shouldn't stay in power. People will draw their own conclusions.
They'll
draw their own conclusions.
How do you stop?
Anyway, let me conclude with this. You've done a book on poetry,
which we gave you a copy of.
Poetry for the Many. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Wonderful poetry from wonderful people, encouraging the working classes to embrace and enjoy culture, poetry and music for the many. I love poetry. We can agree on that.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.